What's up? What's up? Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, and welcome into another video for the NFL Big Board 1.0. This is JD's Big Board, and before we dive into everything, remember, support us on Patreon. If you want to get videos early, you can do that there down below. Join the MVP Discord if you're not in it already. That link down below, and check out mostvaluablepodcast.com to check out JD's full top 25 for the NFL Big Board. JD, this is now video 4 that we're recording in the order. I'm going to ask you to be a good co-host. JD, how you doing today? Someone might be coming in. This is their first video. How you doing?
Just dandy.
You're like, I'm ready to talk some football.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I've been holding these thoughts in my head all summer. So yeah.
Oh man, but JD, we're talking offense. We're taking both the offensive line, well, all three positions, and kind of jamming them into one. I don't know, like, this is something like I mentioned in the first video, the quarterback video. This will mold. Like, maybe the offensive line separates. Maybe the wide receiver tight ends come together like we did on the fly for that video. Check it out if you haven't. Maybe inside outside line separates as we get further to the draft. Maybe it all stays to one. Right now, all of the offensive line is together, tackles, guards. So JD, the only thing you're going to have to do is for the people, just kind of, if you have it on the top of your head, whether the guy's inside line, outside line, kind of making it clear for them, but everyone should kind of know it if you're familiar. But hey, a lot of these guys, people are just diving into, hey, I haven't checked him out because I wasn't looking at him last year. Before we start, though, let's get you, what is your rankings for the offensive line?
So number 1 is Olu Fashanu. Number 2 is Amiris Mims. Number 3 is Zach Zinter, who is a guard. And number 4 is JC Latham, and number 5 is Joe Alt.
So the first thing I want to ask you, we're gonna talk about your dude. Don't worry, you love Olu. There's a reason why he's number 1, but there's a guy I do want to ask you about, and this is, I guess, kind of on par for JD. If I was gonna say that through these first 4 videos, is I look at what some other people are saying. I look at JD and I go, is there a reason? Does he just want to be different? So Joe Alt is the questionnaire, or the person in question for this video, JD, because you have him, what, 5th on your list? I'm looking at Tankathon, and Tankathon's not the end all be all, but I'm using it as a reference. They have Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame, 2nd best lineman in the class right now, 7th overall prospect. Why do you disagree? Because obviously you disagree if he's at 5 on your offensive line rankings.
Now, if I'm being honest, I haven't, like, he's the lineman out of these guys who I've watched the least.
That could make sense.
I'm putting that. I'm including that. But from what I've seen, he's a very good pass blocker and a very good run blocker. But in the film that I've seen, I feel like his footwork is very muddy. If that makes sense, I feel like he relies on his upper body a little too much, which can hurt him once he enters the NFL.
Okay.
But I think that's something he could obviously improve on over this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does. But it's just a little technical things. Like, I mean, again, you love the size. I have it here. He's 6'7", 317 pounds. You would like him maybe to be a little bit heavier, especially once he joins the NFL as a tackle. But again, I don't have his age, but he's a college kid. So you would bank on him gaining some muscle and getting that better weight into him once he joins the NFL. But yeah.
He's 20 years old.
20. Okay, yeah, exactly. So he's 20 years old.
Couple days from 20 and a half.
Yeah, okay. So then there you go. So yeah, he'll definitely get his body right, but just right now, I just maybe when we do the next one, when I watch more film and we have games that are actually being played, he'll rise. It's just haven't watched enough of him, but what I have seen, he's been pretty good.
I mean, that's another thing too of like, I mean, we didn't talk about this in any of the other ones. Maybe I bring it up here because with offensive tackle, I feel like offensive tackle, offensive line, it kind of hits more so of we got to see these guys play. Remember me last year. I watched film of Will Levis last year at this same time, and I completely fell in love with Will. I still love Will. I think he's going to develop into what I know he can be. I remember watching it and just like you watch the tape of the dude and you just look and go, oh, he's got it. He just needs someone to harness it. Like he's got everything you want for this position, no matter which one it is that you're talking about. But then a season still has to happen. Last year for Will Levis was not his best year. Probably hurt him a little bit. Probably was. Yes, interviews and stuff play into it later on, but you got to have a solid year. So like right now we're looking at these guys looking off of last year's tape. Well, let's be honest. Some of them might not have been the full-time like starter. They might be getting more snaps, more reps because, oh, there was so-and-so in front of me who was a senior, I was a junior, or oh, they were a senior, I was a sophomore. Well, now I'm getting more reps because I am now the starter. I can now break out. You see it all the time with like defensive players. You see it with wide receivers, with running backs. Maybe that's what we get kind of here as well, is how these guys perform over time and how the year plays out. Because one of the other questions I was going to ask you, JD, was when it comes to tackles, like tackles, and I got to put the guards in there too, all the offensive line, it's always a question to me of how many of these guys are going to be towards the top of the draft. Obviously, we get the years that like Eric Fisher, I think it was, the Luke Jokels, their top 3 picks. I don't think we have that this year, if I'm being honest. I think that because of the guys in front, Olu will probably be the best, but he might go 6 at the highest. And maybe, like, we might only have 2 offensive linemen in the top 10, maybe even 1 in the top 10. Like, do you kind of agree with that? Do you think there'll be a surge of offensive linemen, or is this going to be like, hey, you're not the sexy class this year? There are a lot of other players in other classes that are going to be taking up those top 5 spots.
For the offensive line this year, I actually disagree. I think we could even see 2 be in the top 5. And
do we see any more than 2?
I'm gonna go with no. Okay. At least for the top 5. Maybe if you ask top 10, then sure. Okay. Just because of the other positional groups, but like with again, you said Olu, you think can go 6. I can see Olu honestly going 3rd. I think he's gonna be that good. But
well,
we can.
I'll ask you this. We'll use Tankathon as an example. You tell me how many of these dudes you think will fall out of the top 5. Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., Drake May, Jared Verse, and Brock Bowers.
I could see Jared Verse get drop out. I could, like we talked about in the quarterback video. I was like, you better mention it. Yeah, I could see Drake May falling out of the top 5. And those are honestly like, and then maybe Brock Bowers, because I don't know. I said he could go 5th.
Depends on how people or how teams value the tight end.
Exactly.
And you think that those dropouts could obviously be replaced by offensive linemen?
Everybody needs offensive linemen, so yeah.
Do you think it's obviously I got to give you like Olu. Olu's probably going to be the number 1 offensive lineman all year?
Yeah. I mean, there's a chance that like we talked about, Joe Alt could rise, but I have Amarius Mims. So just because he's a physical freak. But yeah, I mean, I do think Olu is going to be the number 1 guy all year.
Now, is it because of is it because of like a size and frame thing? Is it because of, oh, he's got like you see like, oh, he's got the good hands and he is always in the right position? Or is it just because, hey, he's a pass protector and we need pass protectors in the league where quarterback is the most important position?
Now, yeah, I would say for his size, he has great size, and I think he is the best pass protector in the draft. But his run game is where he struggles, and even then, it's still above average in my opinion. He just gets lost in transition, if that makes sense. I found there's times where he misses his block completely.
Well, because in the run game, you got to make your initial block.
Yeah.
But then you got to look to the next level to make the second block.
Yeah. There's times where he goes to dive at the opposing player and he just misses, or they just go around him. So, yeah. But like, again, he's such a good pass protector, and I feel like it's easier to teach offensive linemen how to run block than it is to pass protect. So I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, he has great length. So I'm just gonna go on my little tangent here.
Go ahead
quickly. So
the soapbox is yours, JD.
Yeah. So I don't. We didn't start recording before Olu said he was going back to college. But before that, if you were in the Discord, you'd know I was hyping Olu Fashanu up. I thought he was going to be the best offensive lineman in this past year's draft. And when he said he's going back to college, I was shocked. I didn't understand why, because in my eyes, he was going to be a top 10 pick already. So last year, he did well in pass protection. He struggled in run blocking, but I thought that he gave up the chance to make a lot of money earlier. Now, I obviously think he could make more money, and it could be an ultimate or a better choice ultimately because of how he's progressed over the summer. But I do worry because you never know with offensive linemen, and you don't really know how the pressure is going to get to him this year. But I think he's going to be unreal. I think he has a chance to be a top 5 tackle in the NFL. And if you were around in Discord when I was talking about Penei Sewell, that's how I feel about Olu Fashanu. I love Penei Sewell. I thought he was a top 5 prospect in that draft, and I could see Olu being like that.
Similar sizes, right? Because like Olu's like 335 and Penei was a big boy.
Yeah, well, the thing with Penei that I thought was crazy is as a freshman, he was just destroying people, and you don't see that from an offensive lineman in college. And Olu, not really the same, but I mean, Olu's only 20 years old, well, almost 21, and I mean, he's a big boy. I would say he would need. I feel like he could slim down the fat, if that makes sense, and just get more healthy weight, like more muscle mass. I think that could benefit him, especially in the run game. But I love his hand placement. I feel like he anchors really well. He has good footwork. So I think it's just really figuring out that run game. And if he can figure out that run game, he can easily be a top 3 pick.
Yeah, I mean, last thing I'll say is it's going to be interesting. And Olu is the one I'm looking at here. It's going to be interesting if I agree with you. The 5 guys I listed from Tankathon, some of those guys are going to fall out of the top 5. It all depends on what teams ultimately are there. But there's a chance for offensive linemen. Like, do I think for sure offensive lineman would be a top 5 pick? Maybe not in this draft, but I could see it as a chance. Like, it's weird. I'm not gonna put my my mortgage or put my life savings on it. But Dumb and Dumber, JD. So you're saying there's a chance? That's how I look at it, because like the next positions we're gonna talk about with the defense, edge rushers are always needed. One of those guys could jump up, but this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think about the offensive linemen. Who are you pumped up about? Guys maybe we didn't mention yet down below in that comment section. Remember, check out our Patreon link. That is down below in the description. Check out the MVP Discord link, mostvaluablepodcast.com to check out JD's full top 25 big board coming into the college football season. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, and as always, have a good day, everybody. As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.